You are listening to Vitruvian Man with Jesse and Josh.
Welcome back to Vitruvian Man. And as usual, I am joined by my Manila Josh.
Mahomie, how's it going?
Bro, went to movie night at your house the other night.
Wasn't that dope? That was so much fun.
Josh made some killer chili, and there were some nice snacks, and we watched Beetlejuice. And then afterwards, we watched Dune. Oh, you watched which Dune?
The old one.
Oh.
David Lynch.
That's pretty wild, huh?
Oh, it was dope.
I like it.
Some of the people hadn't seen it before, so that was pretty funny. That was a long one. That went until, I think we were out there until 12:30.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's a weird movie. Sting's in that movie.
Sting's. Do you know who else is in that movie? Fucking Jack Nance. Do you know?
He's the one from Blue Velvet?
And Eraserhead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, I love Jack Nance. Did we talk about how he fucking got killed?
I don't think we did talk about that.
He, apparently Jack liked to fight.
Oh, shit.
And he's like not a huge guy.
But a fighter.
But he loved to fight. And he was in a donut shop in LA, and like somebody wanted his sprinkles or something like that, and fucking something. I guess they fucking clocked him, and he fell down and hit his head and died.
So wait, he's a customer in the donut shop.
Yeah, he's just in the fucking donut shop.
He's just had enough time waiting for sprinkles
or whatever it was, and somebody maybe somebody cut in
fight.
front of him or something like that. I don't remember the specifics, but it was like a donut shop in Los Angeles, and he fucking died.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
A true loss. Like I love Jack Nance. Him in Twin Peaks as Pete was such a great character. And God,
of all the violence that's ever happened in Los Angeles, the donut shop has to be like the last square available.
Yeah,
who would have ever picked the donut shop for a death? I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, Compton, West Hollywood, donut shop.
My wife was she was at See's Candy once, and the lady in front of her was just a big grump. Got the free sample, ordered her thing, walked out, and Mary goes, she said to the clerk, how does someone come in here in a bad mood? Sees fucking candies, man.
You're ready to shoot up some sugar, and you're fucking grumped.
Yeah. I mean, you're not buying 4 gallons of fucking vodka. I could see you being in a bad mood about that.
All right. Yeah, sorry. So, that was definite
my bad.
Diversion.
All right. When we started this podcast, we never intended this to be a political podcast.
Truly.
We were covering assholes like Jordan Peterson, men in these manosphere that we feel like are bad actors in the modern society. But it kind of feels like when our democracy's at stake, maybe it's time to talk a little bit about politics.
I mean, I think kind of, because I don't think that we did this last week, tying Project 2025 to overt fucked up masculinity is pretty easy. And I think that like with all of the implications for women and their rights over their own body and what kind of toxic fucking Christian masculinity is going on to make that happen on a fucking national scale is pretty obvious. Although we didn't say anything about it, I think that it's pretty obvious. So I think, this was never about politics, but I think that is a pretty easy tie. And I think this week's subject is also a fairly easy tie, even though it is overtly political.
Well, it's sure, like this week we could have done an episode of Jordan Peterson, but it's like, Trump does represent the worst in masculinity.
Yeah.
And he's not just obviously a threat to democracy, but I mean, he really is all the horrible people we've been talking about. Trump typifies practically all of those traits.
Well, and all of those people that we talk about have come out behind Trump for those reasons. I mean, it is very, very much, he is the standard bearer for those pieces of shit. He's a piece of shit standard bearer, and that is not a good thing. And we're here to talk about it. We won't go on too many more. Well, maybe we'll probably end up being sort of political, but I don't want this to. We don't want this.
No.
We've talked about this. We don't want this to be just about politics. But I think that the last week, and the Supreme Court, obviously, and this one, I think, are necessary, and they really tie to the whole thing.
Now, to set the stage here, you and I have been talking about this for months. We've been excited about Harris debate with Fucky McFuckface, and we've been building up to this, and it's been a lot of build up. So the other night you were at home with your wife, I think, right?
Yes.
And I was at home with mine. Well, we were with my mother-in-law who wanted to watch the debate with us. And I had just said last week that someone had mentioned that Trump was a good debater. Now, we got into a little scuffle about that. You're like, fuck that. He's an idiot. You can't string two words together. But I guess what I meant, the reason I identified with what that guy had said was Trump can seem normal on a debate stage.
Yeah.
And if Trump seems normal, things go badly. Do you know what I mean? Because
it's true.
Unless you tap into his crazy, he can be compelling and has a good TV presence.
He
right?
has a good. He doesn't make any fucking sense, but somehow he comes across right.
Right.
Totally, like he can't string a sentence together. He's a fucking moron.
Well, we talked about this like when Trump
Right.
Debated Biden. If you looked at it on paper, Biden crushed him in every single category.
Absolutely,
Of course he did.
He makes no sense.
But no one watched that debate and thought that Biden won it.
No, because he's a fucking bully and everything that goes along with that. Absolutely. No, I understand what he was saying, although I think the language is he's not a he may be a master debater, but he is not a master debater.
He is not a serious person.
He is not a serious fucking person, and he really can't string a fucking sentence together at this point. He might have been able to. I mean, I think that he could in 2016.
Right. He was much more coherent in 2016.
Vaguely 2020 maybe, but he has lost all coherence at this point. He makes absolutely no fucking sense.
So to set the stage, Mary and I are with our mother-in-law, and we're going to watch this debate. I'm pretty excited, but about 10 or 15 minutes in, I'm kind of bummed out. So her very first question, she kind of dodges it accidentally. I don't think she answered it very well.
No.
The first 10 or 15 minutes, he's seeming normal. And I don't mean he's doing well, but he's doing well enough. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be the fucking blowout that I thought it was. Fucky McFuckface is doing okay. The wife and I turned it off. We couldn't take it anymore.
What was? Do you remember what prompted you to turn it off?
It was just, the thing is about Trump is when I'm watching video of analysis of him and people are mocking him and making fun of him, it's pretty enjoyable. Just him talking is not obviously enjoyable for anybody.
It's pretty rough. Right.
So I just remember at a certain point, my wife and I both looked at each other. We said, God, I can't take this anymore. Yeah. So we drove home. I texted you and I said, dude, I had to turn that shit off. I couldn't take it anymore. And what did you say?
She's destroying him.
you said turn it fucking back on.
Yeah.
Is what you said.
Yeah, you need to watch this because she is absolutely just killing him right now. And watching, oh God, no, that first 15 minutes. Well, it was okay, so it was like I remember watching the first question. She's there and we're watching it and I was like, oh, this is not fucking good. This is off to a really bad start because it was a complete dodge. And the question was, are people better off now than they were 4 years ago? And she could have answered that. I think that she could have answered that directly and then segued into her pitch for building an opportunity economy, I think was what she was calling it.
But she also seemed nervous. I thought she seemed nervous the first 10 or 15 minutes. Which I don't mean that's not normal.
Yeah. I feel like I do feel like all of that was intentional. Everything that
you think she's baiting him with that?
Dude, she was getting him to let his guard down and think that he was going to fucking take it.
Interesting.
I think everything that was done on that stage on her part was planned. If she didn't know the questions, but I know that she knew all of the questions that were going to be asked.
Right.
And she prepared like a motherfucker for it. Like she got down and dirty. I can't remember who she had portraying Trump, but she had somebody.
Oh, did she have, when they were doing like warm-ups, did they have someone
debate practice
acting as Trump?
For like a fucking week.
Alec Baldwin?
No, it was like somebody on her team. Somebody.
Okay, but he was belligerent and trying to answer like he would answer.
Exactly. Yeah. And I ultimately think that she played like she didn't want the mic shut off. Because he has no facial control. You know exactly what that fucking dumbass is thinking.
Right.
And she, watching her reactions it was so fucking good.
When he mentions the famous, they're eating cats and dogs.
Oh my God.
Just the look of just wonder and excitement and laughter on her face.
She's all, what? It was so animated and so fucking hilarious.
The unfunny part is, that's a horribly racist thing to say.
Absolutely.
There were bomb threats in Springfield, Illinois as a result of this.
Still are. It's still going on.
So
they had to shut down schools. Right. They had to shut down celebrations. They fucking...
It was awful.
They ruined that fucking town.
Yeah, and so that's not remotely funny.
No.
But watching her reactions to his ridiculous things he was saying was pretty fucking funny.
So much gold.
It was incredible.
There was so much gold.
The
that initial fucking, I have to say, I was like, oh, when she walked over there and fucking made him shake her hand.
Dude, okay, we might have to talk about that for 20 minutes.
Brutality.
Like, let's just slow this way down and start with the handshake. So, Trump, bully and coward that he is not going to shake her hand.
Oh, hell no. And
he's not going to shake her hand.
And germaphobe.
Is he a germaphobe?
Oh, yes.
Oh, dude, he's a real man. Real men aren't germaphobes.
Dude.
Only cucks are germaphobes. Anyway. Dude,
she fucking cucked his ass.
To storm over there and force a handshake.
And say her name to him.
God damn. Because he can't say her name.
Right.
That handshake, I was so proud of her. I mean, I'm proud of her in like 50,000 different ways. She is an incredible woman.
Yeah.
But that handshake, dude, what a fucking boss.
Pure power.
Dude, if you saw that in a boardroom, you would understood who holds the power in that room. And it was her.
Absolutely. God, could you imagine him trying to make a fucking real estate deal and having that go down? Oh, thrown off his fuck. God, so good.
And I promise this is related. Do you know who Amanda Littman is? Because I did not know who that was.
Amanda Littman?
Littman. She's a wonderful person. I'm going to tell you all about her.
Okay.
So someone had posted this quote from Amanda Littman, and it said, her ability to stop herself from saying this motherfucker on national television requires the kind of willpower most of us never dreamed of. Well, first of all, I said, to Kamala's credit, she said far worse things to Trump under the veil of politeness. Like, this motherfucker would have been the natural, like, oh, what is fucking happening here? But the things she said to him, I've talked to world leaders and you are a disgrace.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're laughing at you.
Fucking God. Like, I knew she would come heavy. That was a fucking dick punch.
Yeah, straight up. Right in the.
He fucking worships those morons. All these Kim Jong-il and places in Russia, all these dictators. He just loves to go on and on about them, and they're smart enough to bait him in by thinking that they like him. Right? Yeah. They understand they can use him.
They're setting
that he's
him
a
up.
Fucking moron.
They play him like a fiddle.
But for her to say they think you're a disgrace. God fucking damn it.
And for him, along those lines, when she did that, the only government leader that he could come up with as somebody who supported him and who was a great guy is Viktor motherfucking Orban, right? Yeah. I mean, we talked about him last week. Like, that piece of shit, he's the guy that you're going to pull out and say has respect for you. Right. You're kidding me.
Anyway, I didn't know who Amanda Littman was. She's actually the co-founder and president of Run for Something, which recruits and supports young, diverse progressives running for down-ballot office. Since launching in 2017, she has elected their organization has elected more than 1,000 leaders across nearly 50 states, mostly women and people of color.
Was that group behind Walz?
It might have been my wife thought it might have been behind AOC as well. I don't know. I got to learn more about her.
Yeah.
But clearly a freaking cool person.
Yeah, good stuff.
Did you see so George Conway's always good for a good quote. That's Kellyanne Conway's husband.
Yeah.
I understand he's a conservative. I understand he worked for the Trump administration, but no one fucking rips Fucky McFuckface better than George Conway.
He puts the Gucci's up.
But I thought it was funny because he said Trump's camp has lost control of their candidate.
Yeah. So
they might have had control of him 4 or 8 years ago. When is the last time you think they had control of their candidate?
The only time that they have control of him is when things are going his way. So I would say that they had some sort of control. Well, it's not even control. I don't think that they've ever really had control, but they were able to talk him into reining in his worst instincts.
Right.
And I think that they had that kind of control during the Biden debate.
Oh, sure.
So yes. I think that was probably this cycle. That's the only time. Since then, he's lost his fucking mind. He's a rambling, incoherent fucking turd blossom.
God, so many things to talk about. I mean, where do we begin? I mean, obviously, everyone's heard the cats and dogs things a billion times. We don't need to go over that necessarily. Racist and disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculous. A ridiculous flailing attempt, to rein back in a few more KKK members into his votes. But what do Americans care? the other day he tweeted, "I hate Taylor Swift."
That's so funny, dude.
Americans are trying to figure out how to buy a home, how to pay for groceries, how to pay for gas, how they're going to afford their health care, and he's talking about Taylor Swift.
So now, Taylor Swift is her boyfriend is
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. Now his brother,
Jason Kelce,
is married to some woman, Mahomes.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes?
It's a woman.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the specifics, but they're all tight.
Sure.
But she is a conservative.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that.
And when he tweeted out, like she's always been a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Not the brightest bulb,
sure.
Whatever. But when he tweeted that out about I hate Taylor Swift, she's like, wait a minute. So with that tweet, he's making people question him. Like he is losing control and he doesn't know how to fucking stick to the narrative.
I mean, first of all, they think that within 2 or 3 days of Taylor Swift announcing that she's voting for Kamala, she might have registered 1 million people to vote.
Within 24 hours, they had 400,000 people sign up to vote.
Yes, and here's what just occurred to me, because you were saying how he thinks this is going to work for him, but it's working against him. There are a lot of middle-of-the-road white women whose daughters fucking love Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
There are plenty of white women and Republican white women who either have they don't give a shit about politics, or they're not excited to vote for Trump, but their daughters fucking love Taylor Swift. And it's like, I feel like that's going to work against him in a way that he cannot even imagine.
I sure
that
fucking
people
hope so.
on the fence whose daughters love Taylor Swift are going to be like, what's wrong with Taylor Swift? She's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
she seems like a sweet girl,
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
there's I hope that there's trouble a brewing. Like it needs to be a fucking knockout. It can't be a half-ass, can't be candy.
Well, there is trouble brewing. Have you seen the latest Iowa poll? So Biden was losing in Iowa to Trump by about 18 points. Now, not a huge deal because Biden's not going to win Iowa, and probably neither is Kamala Harris. However, that has shrunk down to 4%. Now, does that mean she's going to
drop 14 points?
Yes. Does that mean she's going to win Iowa? No. But that is apparently the pollsters that did this Iowa poll are some of the most respected pollsters in the whole United States. So people like wonks that are in politics look to this poll as a significant barometer of what's happening. And the fact that she chewed into his Iowa lead that far is really bad for him. I'm going to say this out loud. We should all vote. We should keep working.
Absolutely.
We should consider ourselves the underdog. I'm not saying this is going to be a landslide. There are a few landslides in presidential politics, but I think she's going to fucking crush him.
The thing is, it needs to be a fucking landslide.
Yeah.
Because they're putting shit into place right now to fight it. Like they've got preemptive lawsuits in place already. I mean, this is going to be a motherfucker of an election.
The good news is that's true what you're saying. Although there are plenty of progressive lawyers and think tanks that are 1,000% already rolling out lawsuits.
They're planning
if Trump wins.
Yeah, it's already
so
been planned.
that is not going to take them by surprise.
Yeah.
So the bullshit Project 2025 things that we talked about last week will face immediate court challenges.
Yeah.
So,
well, here's one for me, and I don't know if we're going in order here, but
that's okay.
Him blaming January 6th on Pelosi.
Yeah, so that wasn't his responsibility. So he said...
Yeah, January 6th. God, I can't do it.
So the president isn't responsible for security at the Capitol. That's what he said.
Right. Nancy didn't want this.
I mean, what I find really... I mean, let's just talk about the real shit here. It's Nancy Pelosi's fault that you fucking fomented an insurrection. You're talking about whose fault it was that there wasn't enough cops there.
Right.
You motherfucker fomented the motherfucking insurrection, you piece of shit. Sorry to yell, everybody. I mean, really, like that's what we're talking about. Whose fault it was there weren't enough police there.
Pure insanity. Pure fucking insanity.
God damn it.
And I don't know where they get this party line. It's something that what do they shop that to or workshopped it to try and figure out what best to say when to that line. I like that. Like they just, it's just so fucking ridiculous.
Should we talk a little bit about the fact checking? I was impressed by the fact checking. There could have been more of it. You can't really fact check all of his lies, but Fucky McFuckface said a few outright lies, for example, about eating dogs and cats.
Right.
And the ABC people are like, no, there's no evidence this is true.
Post-birth abortion.
Yeah. No, not a thing.
I do wish that they would have shut his fucking mic off when he started fucking trying to talk over him and shit like that. That's what that fucking whole thing was about. Right. Shut the fucking mic off.
Yeah. But I did appreciate the fact checking, although sparse that it was.
It was only 4 times, and I can't remember what all 4 of them were. It was the post birth. I can't even say it.
A post birth abortion.
They have the baby, they set it aside, and then they decide what to do. Think about God, dude. What an asshole.
Oh my God.
Right.
Did you see a famous moron, Roger Stone, said that Kamala must have had the answers in advance because she did so well?
Well, I don't know who first said it, some asshole, and I think it's friend of the pod, Laura Loomer.
Yeah.
Said that she was wearing Bluetooth earrings. I mean, these are not serious people. These are not serious fucking people.
Yeah, she cheated.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The people who cheat constantly love to point the finger and call you a cheater.
And then and then everybody's saying, "Oh, she had to ask questions. She was way too well prepared." Because your guy's a fucking dumb shit, and all he did was sit around and talk about what he was going to say.
Are you forgetting who we're talking
God
about?
Damn it, dude.
We are talking about an impressive woman,
a fucking professional,
a orator, a prosecutor, someone who's spoken in front of, hostile juries. I mean,
in front of Congress. Right. She called out fucking Brett Kavanaugh like a bitch.
Oh, do you remember what she said? I don't remember what she said.
The question was, are there any laws that decide what a man can do with his body?
Right.
He's all, beer.
So he had no answer. He had no answer for that.
He had nothing. No, nice. Of course not. Because there's no fucking law that does that, which is what, I mean, that's what the point she was getting across is like, how can you make a law that fucking decides what a woman can do with her body? And there's no laws that decide what a man can do with his body. Fuck you.
Absolutely.
And I mean, she's a fucking serious person.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers are not.
But I mean, it's hilarious that they're crying foul and that she's cheater. It's like, why don't you just state the obvious that she's a far more impressive person than Fucky McFuckface?
Well, and then they also came up with it was 3 against 1. They were all on her side. Dude, the reason they didn't fact check her, she didn't lie out her ass the whole fucking time.
Right.
I think there was one thing that somebody called her out on, and I can't remember I think it was somebody called her out because she was talking about the economy that they had inherited, and it wasn't as bad as she was saying.
Sure,
although it was bad. I mean,
yes,
we all know where it was.
Of course.
So like that was the one thing, and then everybody else was like 33, at least 33 separate lies that he told, and that's 33 separate lies, not how many times did he repeat each of those lies? I'm sure that if you were to put that into a thing in 90 minutes, he lied hundreds of times.
Well, and I mean, it could be thousands. And the thing is too, that like, okay, there are obvious lies. Like, for example, he did thwart the immigration bill, right? That we talked
absolutely,
about.
Yes.
Right. So that's an obvious lie, right? But there are little things. He'll say, I have the biggest rallies in history. Okay. That's a lie.
Absolutely.
To say that any of his rallies are well attended is a lie.
Well, we got to give him. Like, I think that his rallies, were well attended.
Sure.
I don't believe that they are anymore, and they were not the most well attended. They weren't the greatest ever. Dude, fucking guy, dude. I can't wait to not hear that fucking voice again.
By the way, I don't know if you know this, but he's formulating some plans.
He's got a concept of a plan.
He's got a concept of a plan.
That was gold, dude.
Trump has no plans except to count his money and to get fucked by hookers. Dead silence.
And what? and friend of the pod. But we'll get into the friend of the pod.
We'll
later.
talk about Laura Loomer a little bit later.
Yeah.
But now this is a little bit of a tangent, but I had to bring this up because we've talked about a lot of Vance. I know this isn't debate, but I'm just going to bring this up just for fun. Did you hear about the article that Vance wrote in 2012? A scathing rebuke of the Republican Party's stance on migrants. Did you hear this? He said that the Republican Party is openly hostile to non-whites and alienating young blacks and Latinos and youth. So he wrote a blog, or this was put up on a blog about 12 years ago or so. But Vance wrote the words that the Republican Party was racist.
So this I don't know. So in 2012, where was Vance in 2012?
That's what I'm trying to see here. Oh, he was a law student at Yale.
So he was still at Yale.
He wrote a rebuke of the Republican Party stance on migrants.
So this was before he got a taste of that sweet, sweet Thiel money.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
So
this is when he had a friend that was gay. He had a lesbian friend. That's the one that came out and was talking about it.
Right.
So he was, I think, a different person in 2012. I don't mean a good person.
No, he was still
not
a piece
exactly
of
the
shit.
same person he is now.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, he was busy trying to get into politics, and he did not at that time see the potential of that side of the Republican Party, the Tea Party.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, it's what's taken over.
Oh, by the way, Vance says something about school shootings. Did you see? He said that school shootings are just going to happen.
Just get used to it. Get used to it. You know what?
It doesn't happen anywhere else in the world.
Oh, but
get used to it.
But when the dumpster fire fucking has somebody take a pot shot at him, it's the Democrats' fault somehow. You just get used to it, Vance.
Right.
You fucking piece of shit.
Garbage.
God damn it.
Oh, and by the way, he when asked about eating cats and dogs, did you hear what he said about that? Vance is almost a worse person than Trump is.
He absolutely is.
He basically said, sometimes we make up stories to put the focus on things.
Absolutely. No, he fully admitted that, yep, we're going to lie to try and persuade people how bad the fucking Democrats are. We're just going to lie.
So,
no, that's the real danger, I feel like, of Trump getting in. Because again, he's 320.
Yeah.
320, 78 years old. He's looking really bad. He's not going to live.
I mean,
long.
12 McRib sandwiches a day will do that to you.
Whatever the diet is, it ain't good, right? If he gets in, he's going to fucking die in office.
Yeah.
And then Vance is going to get in, and
then that guy could become
where the problem rolls.
The new Trump, the new dictator, basically.
He wants to be, but he hasn't got the charisma. I think if that happens, he's out and the Republican Party is done. I mean, I think once Trump's done, the Republican Party is done for years. As long as they don't get in.
Well, like you said, though, the moment Trump loses, every single kiss ass that was a sycophant for Trump will pretend like he never was.
Right.
Right. That's going to happen immediately.
Oh, no.
The retconning of this will happen immediately.
I think that somebody will try and step into his shoes. You got Gates, you got MTG.
I just meant there,
Thom Tillis.
Thom. I don't know about that guy. Just another congressman, or
he's another asshole.
In a gaggle of assholes.
Assholes. But
exactly.
those are going to be the people that are going to try and go for Trump's mantle when he's either dead or out.
And they are potentially more dangerous than Trump, because Trump, being a raving lunatic, makes this sell a lot harder.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're coherent and,
although nobody's got the charisma. I think we talked about this. Nobody has the charisma.
He was really charismatic at his high point, for sure.
And I don't get that. I've never seen that. Personally, I've never understood that attraction to him as like a charismatic leader. I just don't get it. He's always been a fucking dick.
Well, I mean, so maybe it isn't charisma. Maybe it is tacit approval of all of his voters' worst impulses, right? Because, I think there are plenty of hillbillies. I'm not trying to even say bad things about hillbillies. There are plenty of poor white people in the South who have nothing in common with Trump, except that Trump gets to say whatever the fuck he wants, whenever the fuck he wants to, and they don't.
And I guess that translates into charisma, I guess.
I guess so.
I don't know. For me, that doesn't...
Chutzpah, certainly, to use a Yiddish word, right? So...
Nice.
All right, so what are some more? We got to talk about some more of the hilarious things that she said to him.
So one of the best the best burns of the night, of many burns, was when she called him out on Afghanistan. And that's the one. That's the one she was like, so that he was dealing with the Taliban directly instead of going through the Afghanistan government.
Right.
And she's all, this former president, as president, invited them to Camp David. Oh, and then the magic man, Abdul, the leader of the Taliban. We showed him a picture of his house.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But that slow burn on the F.
Oh, yeah. So that was the closest she got to saying this fucker.
Yeah, that was, everybody's all, fucker, fucker, fucker.
Please say it.
But that was a great slow burn on that one.
That was incredible.
Oh, man. No, there was so many things that she did that I mean, it's so hard to keep track, and like taking notes was rough because it's boring taking notes instead of paying attention.
Boring. But after that 15 minutes where we shut it off and then went back and rewatched it,
That's
you
where
have
everything
almost
happened.
just body blow after body blow after body blow.
Yeah, it was gold, and it really incredible. Like her laughter, her staring at him like a dumb little boy. It was so. I don't like saying this in this context, but it was so emasculating for that poor little fuck. Oh my God!
I didn't feel sorry for him, but I agree that it was emasculating.
It chopped his little dick off.
Sure, absolutely.
Like the deformed mushroom was lying on the floor. Fucking.
People would attack Stormy Daniels on Twitter, and basically she's pretty good at one-liners.
Oh yeah, she's
like so someone said to Stormy Daniels, you're a fucking whore. Trump wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole, and she goes, he didn't. He touched me with a 3-inch pole. Like, good for you, man.
It's like, how are you going to come at a porn actress, a porn star? How you think she hasn't heard that shit before?
Yeah, exactly.
Really? That's it? That's what you got? Fuck you.
Come at me. Yeah, totally. I mean, so this debate worked out better than we could have imagined in our wildest dreams, because we thought she was going to win, but fuck, did she win?
I was hoping that this was how I was hoping. This is 100% how I was hoping it was going to turn out. Yeah. I wasn't planning on it turning out this way, but boy, did it. I think it really changed. It changed everything. I think it really did change everything. Yeah. It made the difference so clear. And there's people out there saying, "Oh, I think that Trump won." I think that you had your mind made up before. Like anybody who went in there with an open mind or a clear idea of how people are supposed to fucking talk, she crushed his tiny little balls.
I don't know how you could objectively, with a straight face, say that he won.
Yeah, not even close.
I was watching several respected commentators basically said this is the worst defeat in the presidential televised election or debates. Like, there's nothing like this.
Yeah, there was.
First one was 1960. I think that was Nixon v. Kennedy. Am I saying that right?
Nixon, Kennedy. That was a bad one.
Yeah,
and that was the worst until this time.
That was right. But Nixon wasn't a moron. He was just not doing well.
Well, he wasn't good on television.
Well, if you can recall, the people on radio thought Nixon won. And the people who watched the television version thought Kennedy won.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so apparently the radio was more kind of evenly kind of polled. Huh. But I guess obviously he was sweating and stuff. Yeah. So the TV viewers thought that it was resounding win for Kennedy. But yeah, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say this is the biggest dick slap in modern presidential debates.
What's
even close?
Even before. Like what? I guess. I think Abraham Lincoln and the guy he was
saw
debating.
That debate?
Yeah, I saw that. That was a good one. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. Yeah, not as good as this one.
Yeah. But I think, like, if I remember, like, just some of the burn lines that he had in there
Lincoln had some great ones.
They were pretty good.
Okay, now I expect you to come back next week with some great Lincoln burns.
Yeah, some Lincoln burns.
I think we definitely got to hear some Lincoln burns if you got any. So, because I definitely could not recollect a Lincoln burn.
But yeah, trying to watch him fucking keep his train of thought was painful. Yeah. Not painful. It was glorious.
Yeah, it was like Al Franken or someone the other day. It was like, and man, Trump's talking about eating cats and dogs. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris rolls out her entire domestic policy in about 25 minutes. And at the end of every one of those statements, she'd say, and by the way, I've spoken to the world leaders and they think you're a disgrace.
Every single time. And that was the other thing. People are all, I was light on policy. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. She laid out like her general policy throughout that whole thing.
Yeah.
He laid out nothing. He gave no policy. He had a concept of a plan, right?
Name one policy thing he even said.
He had a concept of a plan. I mean, that was it.
We know he has beef with immigrants, obviously.
Right.
Got a kind of one of his pet peeves are immigrants. So
apparently,
that's his policy is I'm going to deport all the immigrants.
I'm going to deport immigrants, build the beautiful wall, and I've got a concept of a plan for healthcare.
But dude, many economics people have told him that his plan is brilliant.
God damn it, dude.
He wouldn't cite any of them.
You fucking had me there for a minute.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. It's brilliant.
Dude,
don't
brilliant.
Use the word brilliant. You barely understand what it means, and nothing you've ever said is brilliant. So please don't say that.
Yeah, for the love of God.
Yeah, so it's a high five. Let's take several shots. Let's cheers. Let's toast to Kamala.
Here's to Kamala. Kamala and bad dads.
God damn.
Fuck.
She was remarkable. Again, as good as I could have hoped that it would turn out, I couldn't have imagined that she really picked at him. And we talked about this. It's probably standard to have a psychologist on board with a debate prep, but I got to tell you, I think that was the forefront and the centerpiece of their debate prep.
Oh, absolutely. No, and because everybody knew, all his people knew that it was coming.
Yeah.
Everybody knew it was coming, and he could not stick to the fucking plan.
Well, someone said,
"Don't get mad." That's it. That was the plan. Don't get mad.
Did you tell me that her debate prep was really thorough and that his debate prep was watching his old speeches and debates?
Her debate prep was actual debate prep. She had somebody pretending to be him. They they laid out all the questions that they knew that they were going to be coming, and she went up against somebody who like would kind of talk over her and the whole bit. She fucking prepped
for weeks.
Yeah. And serious prep for probably 4 or 5 days before. His debate prep was talking about what he was going to say. That was it. He didn't go up against a fake Kamala. There was none of that. It was him talking about what he was going to say. That was his debate prep.
Again, this goes to his hubris, because if he wasn't such a fucking egomaniac, he would have a stand-in for Kamala.
Oh yeah.
And she would have
dug.
He would have done better, I think.
If he had somebody needle him like they knew was going to happen, he would have been. Although I can't say that he would have been able to prepare for it because I don't think he's mentally capable.
Right.
I really think that he's around the bend. I mean, he is the worst representation of masculinity on the planet. There's nobody worse than him, because he thinks he's a fucking genius, and truly, all the people that he says loves him, all they are doing is fucking taking advantage of him, manipulating him. It's so easy and obvious. I mean, watching him with Putin, her bit about the love letters with Kim Jong-un. Oh, God, that was so good.
Incredible. And we forgot to mention the generals. She'd spoken to the people that had worked in his staff, and the general said he was a disgrace, a complete joke, basically.
Over 200 people that worked with you have signed a letter saying that you're the worst president ever.
God damn, Kamala. I said Kamala. Pardon me.
Kambabla?
Yeah.
Okay. You're channeling
Fucky
Trump.
McFuckface now. Yeah. Kamala, you just fucking killed it, man. I don't know. I could go on for another hour. What do you think?
I mean, really, I think we've covered everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and tying it back to, like, that is a classic case of a real woman kicking a dumbass's ass.
Yeah.
Like, all props to her, man.
Yeah.
I got nothing bad to say about her and everything bad to say about him.
I mean, I think if this didn't prove that she'd make a good president, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Poised, confident, smart.
I tried to watch like some right wingers talking about it. They really did lose their fucking mind.
Did
like,
they?
What, Ben Shapiro? Oh, God,
did he want the ABC staff to get fired or thrown in jail?
Oh, well, of course. I mean, he just saw. Well, she obviously got the questions in advance, and this wasn't fair because it was 3 against 1. Those conservative tears are so sweet. so sweet.
Yeah.
They're like honey. Oh.
Yeah, Schadenfreude's a thing, and I would say this country has got a big dose of Schadenfreude coming up in the next few months. You know, the joy at the suffering of others is...
It's been going on one side for a long time.
Yeah.
Now it's time to shift that shit up. Payback's a bitch, motherfucker. Oh, sorry.
Well, and to put a button on this, you know, there are a few low points in this country's history. Let's say quite a few.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just off the top of my head, slavery, the Civil War, racism in general.
Trail of Tears.
Right. This
Fuck.
country has done some shitty fucking things, participated in some shitty fucking things. I don't think it's an exaggeration to call Trump one of the lowest low points of this country's history.
This is a bad time.
His ascension, the people that voted for him, the rise of white hate as a result of all this shit. But I actually think Kamala is one of the high points of this country. It shows that this country can do good, can pick the right person. And if she wins, I think it is a very high point for this country.
If she wins, there is a potential for America to actually become great again.
And actually, achieve its standing and its respect and the things that we wouldn't have had with a Trump presidency.
Yeah.
All right. Now, to put a button on this also is we have to do an asshole of the week.
So can we definitely need to say that we came up with the same asshole of the week separately. I knew we were. I was like, I'm going to come up with the asshole of the week because I haven't yet. This is the first time. And I'm like, I know Jesse's going to pick the same one.
So who is our asshole of the week, Josh?
Asshole of the week.
Fucking Laura Loomer, dude.
Trump's newest fuck doll,
dude,
is Laura Loomer.
Oh my God, it's so gross.
A bizarre, revolting, disgusting idiot who now is sleeping at Mar-a-Lago, I assume with Trump. I don't think it's a controversial thing to say. It's probably his newest fuck doll.
Those pictures and like just her with him and him with his arm around her. Oh God. And where's Melania?
We should go through some bullets about how fucking horrible Laura Loomer is.
Dude, I have a lot.
Yeah, I want to hear a few.
I have like a lot. Let's go with what you got.
Okay, so she is a 9/11 truther. Mm-hmm. Kind of bizarre that someone that called 9/11 an inside job and who is virulently anti-Muslim would visit the site of 9/11 with Donald Trump.
I mean, he had to have known, right?
Of course,
he had to have known.
Yes.
And she calls herself a proud Islamophobe.
Yes, she calls herself a proud Islamophobe. Yeah. She the other day, sorry, this is so disgusting and really racist. She said if Kamala wins, the White House will smell like curry and White House speeches will be facilitated via a call center. Right. Meaning Indian people.
Now, my favorite part about that is that you have Marjorie Taylor Greene calling her a racist.
Okay. Podcast is over. MTG thinks that Laura Loomer is a racist. Yeah. And we need to talk about that for a minute.
I can't.
You can't even control yourself.
It's too fucking much.
So that fucking simpleton, that person who said the words Jewish space lasers thinks that Laura Loomer has gone too far and doesn't represent MAGA.
So okay. I mean and then her response to MTG, like talking about her fucking roast beef.
Well, yeah, in so many words, Laura Loomer said that MTG's lady parts resemble the Arby's sandwich.
It's just so good, and like, and like the only reason that MTG's all fucking bent out of shape is because she's not there, right? I mean, that's it. That's the only reason. She's fully fucking jealous.
But I mean, like that kind of talk about someone's genitalia,
dude,
should be funny to a 16-year-old,
dude.
Not a presidential advisor.
Well, and not even like these are our fucking, well, not my fucking representative. These are people fucking that got voted into office as representatives, and they're doing this.
It's incredible.
It's insane.
Yeah, MTG said that Loomer does not represent who we are as Republicans or MAGA. This does not represent President Trump. This type of behavior should not ever be tolerated.
What the fuck?
I mean, first of all, it 1,000% represents Trump.
Absolutely.
It 1,000% represents MAGA.
And
it 1,000% represents the Republican Party.
And MTG.
Yes, and any Republican over the last 40 years that cries racism is forgetting that their party has cupped the balls of racism for these last 50 years.
50 plus years.
Yes.
Yeah.
How
Absolutely,
dare you
dude.
call anyone a racist?
Dude. So do you know how she got her start?
I know that she tried to run for office a couple times and failed. What do you have?
So it's beyond that.
Yeah.
So 2015, she was working with James O'Keefe in Project Veritas. Do you know Project Veritas?
Nope.
So you would recognize him. He was the guy that would go into places in film and try and get him to say something incriminating on film and then edit it to make it sound like something. So he went into like Planned Parenthood or something like that and then filmed them saying, oh, whatever. He tries to bait him into saying something.
And then he would stitch it together as if they had said something incriminating.
And then he would present it to whoever to promote it and get it out there.
Right.
So, they're selling aborted babies in the back of Planned Parenthood. Sure. Thing. I mean, it's just that kind of stupid ass shit. And she did that. She went to, her first thing was that she went into, at the college she was going to, she went to some advisors and said that she wanted to start a pro-ISIS student group. Filmed it, of course, and then tried to present it out as they were promoting it. They were fine with that. And
so she started the pro-ISIS group, or tried to, and then tried to seem like the students had done that.
Well, she was a student there, so.
Tried to make it seem like it was a natural, organic thing.
So no, she went there and tried to do it,
right.
And then tried to present it as the school was trying to help her do it.
Got it.
So they were like making her look bad.
This school defends ISIS, basically,
right?
Yeah.
So it totally set up a support group for ISIS.
Okay,
and so they were trying to talk an insane person down from what she was talking about doing, and she tried to present it. Ended up getting kicked out of school, and one of the college professors that she had dealt with sued her.
Oh. Because she misrepresented him.
Because the whole thing, yeah, it
so
put
like
him
slander.
Out. Yeah, it was like it was a whole thing.
Nice.
So then in 2017, she went to vote in New York in a burqa and claimed her name was Huma Abedin. Right? Huma Abedin? Anthony Weiner's wife at the time.
Was she Muslim or?
I mean, I don't think she was Muslim, but she, had some sort of Middle Eastern kind of background.
Okay.
In a burqa.
So she tried to vote in a burqa.
So she misrepresented herself.
Weiner's wife. Why?
Just to do it. Nobody
as
really
a
understands.
Halloween costume?
No. She was. She was trying to get it was like a combination voter fraud and also throwing Huma Abedin under it was like this weird thing. Didn't go anywhere. She didn't do it, and she tried to present it. Anyway.
That is a very specific prank.
She is not very smart.
No.
She's trying. It's basically just she's a troll, but a really bad one. She's not even fucking good at it. And then she threw an anti-Sharia march in Manhattan and threw a burqa over the Fearless Girl statue. You know what I'm talking about? No. So the Fearless Girl statue they put up there, I think it was, I can't remember what it was for, but it was like this. So this would have been like 2017 as well. So it might have been right around, not Me Too, but there was like the Women's March and all that stuff going on. And they put up Fearless Girl who was standing in front of the, I think they put her in front of the bull. Anyway.
What does the burqa on that statue mean?
Who knows?
So again.
Who knows?
Again, a prank that doesn't
really make any sense. And so there's this great, I heard an audio of like, it was some tourists and they're like, okay, we're just going to pull this off. I just want to take a picture of this thing. She's all, why do you hate America? She's so ridiculously dumb.
So she's perfect for Trump.
So after
dumb
that,
and racist,
dude, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
So after that, it's 2017, later 2017, she left Project Veritas and went to work for Rebel Media, which was a far right Canadian website.
Okay.
And that is where she went to Shakespeare in the Park. Shakespeare in the Park at the time was running a version of Julius Caesar, where Trump was Caesar.
Oh, wow.
Right?
So a thinly veiled political statement.
Well, the thing is that they'd ran Julius Caesar with Obama in the key role before. So it's just something that they do.
Okay.
You know, it's something they do.
So they take the current president and make him Caesar.
Not necessarily,
Okay.
but sometimes they do.
Okay.
And that's what they did. And she went in there and said, she started fucking making a big old scene and stopped the play. And she's yelling at him, you know, this is violence against Donald Trump. Stop the normalization of political violence against the right. You know, but like the whole point of Julius Caesar is that they stab him and the whole empire falls apart, or the whole, you know, it all falls apart.
Right.
And they all end up getting killed. Anyway, so there's no coherence. She has no fucking concept
Again,
of what's
a weird
going on.
prank that no one cares about.
Nobody cares about.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, shut the fuck up. We're watching Shakespeare, you know? And then she went to work for InfoWars, of course.
Right.
I don't think that lasted long.
Is she a research analyst for InfoWars?
Dude, there was one.
Did she come up with the gay frogs thing, or was that?
No, that's way too much for her, dude.
That's too advanced.
That's
for
too
her.
advanced stuff for her. That involves science. She, but I heard this great clip of her ranting about how, they're keeping me down. They're censoring me and all this stuff. Alex Jones cuts the mic.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, dude. He's all, oh, yeah, that's really bad.
So
I can't believe that's happening to you. I'm really sorry about that. Okay.
So Alex Jones thought she was too extreme.
She was too much for him,
his
dude.
show. Yeah, that's something else.
And then, so this one you might remember, actually, 2019, she was in Napa, went down to the local Home Depot, picked up some migrant workers, took them back to Pelosi's house in Napa and jumped the fence and set up a camp out there. Okay. So
like to illustrate the problem with immigration?
Yeah.
Or
I don't, yes, like, they're just all, okay, you got to go now. The cops came, they're all right, you need to go now.
So she likes stunts. It sounds like Laura Loomer likes herself some stunts.
She is a really, really horrible troll, but troll is what she does. That's all she has. That's all she has. So now we get into a little bit of her insanity. She believes that the Parkland school shootings were staged, crisis actors.
Interesting.
That whole thing. She believes that the Vegas shooting was an ISIS operation.
Okay.
She believes that October 7th in Israel was going to lead to a global day of jihad, right? And she promoted that, saying that it was going to happen on, I think it was October 13th.
Okay.
I don't have it here, but I think it was October 13th, global day of jihad, which motivated a 71-year-old landlord to attempt to murder a tenant, and he killed her 6-year-old son. So this is directly related to her promoting some fucking
that's
bullshit.
terrible. I didn't remember that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be
deep in the weeds,
chronically fucking online for this shit, dude. 9/11 was an inside job, of course. We talked about that.
Absolutely.
The winter storm in 24 was created by the deep state using HARP. You know about HARP?
Yeah. That's a satellite?
So it's a high frequency active oral research program, but the lunatics have declared that it's controlling the weather.
Oh, does that go to Jewish space lasers, or is that totally different?
I would say it's the same thing.
So it's
essentially Jewish space lasers. Essentially, MTG is not smart enough to actually put HARP together with Jewish space lasers, which is why that came out. Or maybe Loomer, because she is Jewish, right? She's Jewish.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, I got a great line for you.
Yeah,
this is so good.
Yeah.
Totally sidetracked.
Yeah.
But so she totally believes that weather control with all the storms in like early 24.
Yeah.
And she was the one that came up. Well, I don't know if she came up with, but she's the one seriously promoting the pet eating hoax.
Yes. That was her baby.
Now, she's been banned from Twitter, Medium, Uber, Lyft, PayPal, GoFundMe, Venmo, Facebook, and Instagram.
Get out of here.
She's been banned from all of them.
She's not banned from Twitter anymore, though.
She's back on Zitter. But she was banned from Twitter until dipshit took it over.
Totally.
Now, when she got banned from Twitter, she went and handcuffed herself. Do you remember this?
No.
So much gold. She went and handcuffed herself to the door of Twitter, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Jack Dorsey. Yeah. She handcuffed herself, claimed she threw away the key, handcuffed herself. But it was only one door. And so, like, there's people just, like, walking by her, and she's yelling into a megaphone. They're walking by her and just looking, okay, didn't stop fucking anything.
Right. So that was her protesting for her free speech, basically?
Right. Put me back.
Yeah.
You can't take me. You can't take me down. And so Jack Dorsey is like, let her stay. Which was the most gold. She wanted to be arrested so she could say she's being kept down.
Right.
Eventually, because it started getting cold, she asked the cops to cut the cuffs off. She is not a serious person, dude.
So she was hoping to be instantly arrested,
right?
And the CEO said, "We're good. Leave her alone. Yeah.
Let her stay. Nobody cares. Everybody's getting in the building. Doesn't fucking matter. What are they going to do?"
By the way, a comedian real quick said that anytime someone wants to be an asshole, they always use the word free speech.
Oh, it's.
Like it's just someone's basically trying to be an asshole.
That's where it comes down to. Right. I totally. That's that or woke. Like those are the two things.
Totally.
Woke mind virus. You automatically know they're a fucking dumbass.
Right.
Apparently Yi loves her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when he came out talking about the Nazis and all that stuff, he's all about fucking the loomer.
Interesting.
Very strange.
I mean, she does look a little bit like Kim Kardashian.
Oh, dude. And so the other thing that gets me is like, Trump's fucking her because he calls her a free spirit.
That was the code word. Or
that is the key, right? Anytime somebody's, she's such a free spirit, you're like, there's a dick going somewhere.
Yeah, and Trump basically says, I don't control her.
Exactly.
She says what she wants to say.
She said she's a free spirit.
Just the idea that she is her own thing and Trump has nothing to do with that. Like, just basically that all the racist shit she says doesn't mean anything because she's just free spirit. Dude, she kind of does her own thing.
I can't wait. Over the next couple weeks, there's going to be more and more insanity coming out of Trump's mouth. And it's because she's right next to him.
Yeah. I mean, of all the ways that he could have been helped in these last couple of months, she's going to hurt him.
She's undoing it all.
She is.
Everything. And
I mean, you have to think, so the cats and dogs thing, I'm going to go ahead and Trump, obviously had that on his bullets, right? But it feels like an act of desperation how late it came out and then how he kept harping on it. He said it several times.
Yeah.
It's like he knew he was losing.
Absolutely. No, he saw it. He saw the whole thing slip away.
Yep.
And that's why he went into the spin room afterwards. Nobody goes in the spin room unless they lost.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The only reason you go out there afterwards is to fucking make a pitch.
So the winner doesn't usually even enter the spin room.
Why?
Okay.
What's the point? You won.
He did great. Fucky McFuckface. Everyone knows he won. I mean, objectively he won.
Do you have any more on the Loomster?
Thankfully we're done with the Loomster. I got a couple quotes though.
The fucking palate cleanser.
Yeah, we got to do a palate cleanser after that fucking bullshit.
God, she's such a fucking psycho. And let me just say.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the quote. She was hitting on some fucking white supremacist, some fucking actual
flirting with.
Yeah, like actual fucking Nazi. And dude, you okay? Don't get mad at me.
Yeah.
I've got big boobs and that Ashkenazi IQ.
That's what she said to him.
That's what she said to him. That was her pitch.
Oh.
That was her hit on this fucking guy. And he's a Nazi. He's a fucking Nazi.
So was he into it?
There was not a connection. There was a swipe. Whatever the direction that the rejection direction, that's where it went, dude.
I imagine the kind of intellect that tries to sidle up to a Nazi.
I got big boobs and that Ashkenazi IQ.
Well, they talk about self-loathing Jews. Need I say more?
Yeah, I mean, really, that's where it's at. Don't hate me. Don't hate me, Jesse.
Yeah, fuck you, Josh. Terrible person. How do you say, is it Johann Wolfgang von Goethe? Do you know him?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one of the quotes I have here. By the way, he was a writer and a polymath. you ever look up the word polymath? Because
Yeah.
I've only heard that word a couple times, and I have to look it up occasionally.
I never know if it's polymath or polymath.
Well, I looked that up too. Apparently, it's polymath.
It's polymath, okay.
It basically just means someone who's basically versed in a wide variety of subjects.
Things. Yeah, it's like a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had to look it up because I remember a few weeks ago you said, I had quoted somebody and you're like, who is that guy? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I'm like, well, I should at least research what the person is before I quote them. But he said, ignorant men raise questions that wise men answered 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking profound.
Goethe's a guy.
I do like that. Huxley. I could quote Huxley every week. He's just the best. That all men are equal is a proposition which at ordinary times no sane individual has ever given his assent. That all men are created equal. It's interesting. I remember, I mean, are all men created equal? Well, maybe not. I mean, if you think about like
Not
nature
really.
versus nurture, no.
Not really.
I mean, because, okay, wait a second here. Give me 1 second here. So Stephen Jay Gould actually answers that question. Are all men created equal? He's an American paleontologist, an evolutionary biologist. I am somehow less interested in the weight and convolutions of Einstein's brain than in the near certainty that people of equal talent have lived and died in cotton fields and sweatshops.
Yeah.
So people are not all created equal. People are born into a certain station that guarantees their success, and other people are born into a certain station that almost guarantees their suffering.
Now, I don't think the way I interpret what he said there is that people may be created equal, but they are not given equal chances.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got a couple more. Why not? So I actually misquoted Dimitri Martin a few minutes ago. People only mention it's a free country if they're doing something shitty. So that was the whole free speech thing.
That's right.
That was pretty good. I got one more. This is completely unrelated. It's just a good quote. When childhood dies, its corpses are called adults, and they enter society, one of the politer names of hell. That is why we dread children. Even if we love them, they show us the state of our decay.
Yeah.
Interesting,
Yeah.
just a way to look at old people shouting at young people,
Here we are.
They make us aware of our state of decay. All right. That was a lot of quotes. Sorry about that.
No,
I
that was
couldn't
good.
resist.
That was a good one.
All right. Well, Kamala, thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Keep kicking ass, baby.
We're toasting to you tonight.
Yeah.
So you're the best.
Yeah. We good? We solved it?
We did it. We solved the debate. See you next week.
All right. Rock on. You have been listening to The Trivial Man. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can either call us at 415-484-8841 or send us an email at thetriviumpod@gmail.com.